All right, you guys got this? Class?
Yes.
That's actually not bad. Pretty good. My other classes really sucked at that today. Maybe because it's almost Monday, so too close to Monday. People are still dead. Anyway, annuities, methods of saving and investment. So, again, for those people that are trying to watch at home, the smartboard is not working. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you item by item how to put this in the calculator, and we're going to take notes. But when we take the notes, you're going to write down all these things on the slides. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to walk around and make sure you guys are taking care of this. So the bottom of your page, the first slide that we're going to talk about is bottom of the page. On your notas, two notas. Scroll to the bottom of the page. That's what we did back in the old days. We would say scroll through the page, like it means just go down it. Yeah, you know what that means right there? Scrolling. Yeah. There's no mouse involved. Okay, the bottom of the page, you're going to look at this bottom slide, and it says, annuity is a sequence of equal payments made at equal time periods. Now, annuity is different because you're paying yourself. This is part of an investment. It is going to be a payment. It's coming out of your pocket. So next to this, you're going to write that this is a payment. Payment. In our calculator, it is PMT, right? Yes. PMT. And when we add a payment, when we put in a payment into our calculator, it's coming out of your pocket right now, but you're going to move it to another account. You're going to save it for later. So since it comes out of your pocket, it's going to be a negative. Anything that comes out of your pocket has to be a negative. So you're going to write that down, the definition on this bottom slide, that annuity is going to be your payment. And when we make a payment, those are going to be entered in as a negative. Next one, value of annuity is the sum of all deposits plus interest paid. So if annuity is going to be my payment, the value of annuity is going to be my future value. On the calculator, that's just FV. Future value. So the value of annuity is your future value, FV, if you're using the calculator. So on the calculator, it is FV. You write that down? Write it down. Go ahead. I'm going to go step by step to get to that here in a second, okay? So that's going to lead us up to our example 1. So scroll over to the next one. I'm going to bring up my calculator. I'm going to show you guys to get there. So I know we're writing these things down because that's important. So, home, new doc, add calculator. Because a lot of people are going to get lost right here. Add calculator. After you add the calculator, it comes up like this. Menu. Finance solver. So you wrote down the steps. Now I'm going to read through the problem, and you guys we're going to fill this in, but you're going to write it down in your paper first. So example 1 says you deposit $1,000 in a savings plan at the end of each year for 3 years. Interest rate is 8% per year compounded annually. First, if you're looking on my calculator, the first category is N. N means how many payments. How often do I make this payment? How often? Every year. For how many years? 3 years. So if it's once a year for 3 years, how many payments do I make? 3. So on your paper, in the little lines right there next to example 1, you're going to put N equals 3. NA, S, Tres. N equals 3. Because we're going to fill these in. All these in here. So n equals 3. Now, the next box down. So to help you with this, if you're having trouble with the mouse pad on the calculator, you can hit the button that says tab. It will just move you down to the next box. That's not a cell phone right now, right? No. So you hit tab to get down to the next box. So now my percent, what is my interest percent here? 8%. So you put it in as a percent. Just don't change it to a decimal. So percent is 8. So on your paper, you write this down before we enter it in. Percent is 8. Okay. There we go. Let's keep going. So the next thing is PV. PV stands for present value. How much money are we starting with in my account? No. 0. It's 0 because we haven't made a payment yet. So before we start making payments, there is 0 in the account. So your PV currently is 0. So after PV, we get payment, PMT. So how much is coming out of my pocket? What's my payment? 1,000, right? And if it's coming out of my pocket, I need to know that 1,000 is negative. It's going to be a negative 1,000 because I need to account for it coming out of my pocket going into a different account. So part of accounting is that you need to pull it out of your pocket, out of your budget every year, and it's going to get paid to another account that you don't touch. So it's basically you're spending money, but you get it back later. So there's that one. Okay, so that's my payment. After payment is FV, which is my future value. We're going to calculate the future value, so leave that one blank. We're going to skip that one, leave that one blank. Next one is PPY. I know you guys are writing these down, so PPY. How many payments per year? I make the payment annually, which is just once per year. So PPY is 1. The next one after that is CPY. The CPY is also 1. And again, when do I make the payments every year? You can read the problem. When do you make the payment?
At the end of each year?
End of the year. So if I scroll down on the bottom, it's going to be end. So you writing down all these. So now I'm going to enter mine in. So we said N is 3, percent is 8, payment negative 1,000, future value, PPY is 1, CPY, and then N. So if you just hit tab, you could keep scrolling through here. So I want future value, so highlight future value, FV, and hit enter. There we go. Anyone not get that? 32, 46, 40. That's going to be part A. Yes? Anyone struggle with that? Alrighty. So that's going to be for part A of this question. And part B says find the interest. So to find the interest, 3246, I'm going to hit escape. 3246.40. And I'm going to subtract. How much money did I put in? I put in 1,000 every year for 3 years, right? So it's total of 3,000. So I would do it is 1,000 times 3, just so I could put it all together. We're gonna do some more problems later on where you're gonna have to calculate the n values, and it's gonna be interesting. So we're still gonna get $246.40. That's how much money your money made for you. That is interest. That's you not working for the money, that's your money working for you. That's why investments are important. All right, that's part B, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next. Let's scroll down. Scroll down to example 2. All right, everyone found example 2, right? Okay. It says, suppose that when you are 35, you decide to save for retirement by depositing $1,000 into an IRA account at the end of each year for 30 years. If you can count on an interest rate of 10% per year compounded annually, how much will you have after 30 years? Now, first, we're going to go in the calculator. Go back to your financial SARVA, and we're going to start filling in all those things. I'm going to give you a moment. I want you to start right here. N. Figure out the N. Figure out the percentage. Figure out PV. I want you to read through, I want you to try it real quick before I actually start giving you this. I want you to write down the letter N and tell me what the N is. So you're adding this to your notes. Okay, for the next one. What comes after N? Yep.
3 años. 3 años. Dice
Okay.
aquí va a ser 3. Sí, pero aquí dice 3 años. ¿De dónde lo sacó?
Can't see it. What? You made one? No, yeah, that's right. Okay. All right, so let's go through and look at this. So N. How many payments do I make? 30. I'm making 30 payments because I make one payment every year for 30 years. One payment every year for 30 years. Oh. Percent. My percent is 10%. PV. What is my present value? How much money am I starting with? 0. So I know you guys are filling this in, especially if you didn't so far. So my PV is 0. My payment. What payment am I making? 1,000 every year, right? It's a negative 1,000 because it has to come out of your pocket, right? Good. After payment is future value. That's what we're going to solve for. We leave that one blank. My PPY. How many payments per year? One payment per year. CPY. 1. And I make the payment when? At the end of the year. Very good. And then go ahead, scroll up, go to your FV, your future value, and calculate that. Calculate your future value. Where you at? And how many payments do you make? Towards a year. How many years? Yeah, so N is. Yep. Percent of the next year. Is that a lot of money? Yep. 164,000, right? 160, yes, it is, and some change, right? It's 164,000 and some change. A lot of money, isn't it? So, now that's going to be my future value, the 164,000 and some change. You write that in for my future value. That's going to be the answer for part A. But for part B, how much interest? But now I have to think about how much I put in the first place.
Like minus 30,000.
So, on my calculator, ten and hit enter. There we go. Now, I'm going to hit escape for my figuring out my interest. Dang it. It's 164,000 what?
64,494.
494.2. There we go. Minus. So, if you're struggling with this because you're not very good at math, I made 30 payments, right? So I'm going to put a parentheses. 30 payments times, what did I make a payment of? Each payment was how much? Right there. Hey, shh! Hey, you! You're supposed to be working on this. Okay, all right, there we go. And how much money interest that we made? 134,000 there, right? Is that what you're saying?
No. Why do you do the parentheses? Why did you say 30,000?
Order of operation. I put parentheses around it to actually show what we're doing. And I did that so you could see I made 30 payments of this. So step by step, so you could actually see where everything's come from. If I were to just say 30,000, some people are going to wonder where that number comes from. Especially if it's not like a nice round number, like 30,000 is. What if our monthly payment was like $278? That's going to change my numbers a lot. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to my notes. Let's see, scroll down to example 3. And just so you guys know, I am not assigning homework today for this.
Thank
So I'm just working on trying to get you guys working on this to get the notes and take care of the notes. And not just gossiping back there. All right, at age 25, you save for retirement and you decide to deposit $200 at the end of each month into an IRA that earns equivalent of 7.5% per year compounded monthly. How much will you have from the IRA when you retire at age 65? First, what age are we starting this? 25. What age am I going to end? How many years is in between there? Yep, very good. It's 40 years, right? So to calculate my end, I have to take my 40 years. And how often do I make my payment? How often do I make the payment? So 40 times 12. Start writing this down. You're not even on the example yet. 40 times 12 came up with 480. So my end value here is going to be 480. My percentage What's my percent gonna be?
7.5.
7.5. PV, my present value, what am I starting with? 0. I'm starting with 0 because I don't have any money in the account starting out. After PV is payment. PMT, what is my payment going to be?
200.
Negative 200. It's my $200. So negative 200. So I know it's coming from my pocket and going into this other account. So after my payment is future value. That's what we're going to solve for. Yep. After future value is PPY. What is the PPY? Very good. It is 12. PPY is 12. CPY, also 12. When are we making the payment? End of every month. Last one's going to be end. So please fill those in. And we're calculating for FV. This one, my percentage is 8. $7.5. And future value, calculate that. We get $604,000. And some change. All right, so 604. Let's go ahead, escape. Did that work? There we go, it did work. There we go, I'm going to subtract. How much money did I end up putting in? So I'm going to use my parentheses here. I made 480 payments, right? 480 payments times $200. Or if you do the math first, you come up with 96,000, right? And so my total interest that I make, money that makes money for you, you get $508,764 just for putting $200 away every month. Not bad, right? So that's basically your Starbucks budget for each month, or your Douche Bros budget. If you were to get in a habit of putting that money away every month, you can. Currently, interest rates are ridiculous. Yep. No, because it's right now interest is ridiculous. Like cost of living is ridiculous. So as those rates go up, interest rates also go up with it, with market inflation. So you could probably get 7%. Yeah. All right. So on that, that is it for you people. So all I have for you is, I want you guys working on the assignment from Friday. The essentials. So please do that. On that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe.